someone asked, what's the biggest obstacle you've ever had to overcome in your life? Okay, so I'm gonna get a little vulnerable here. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited. I wanted to make this first video as like a get to know me for those of you guys who might not know who I am or follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. I did put a question box on Instagram for you guys to ask me anything that you want to know about running or just like my life in general, and I'm going to answer some of those as well as just give you guys some background on my life. So just like a little bit about myself. I'm 26 years old. I turned 27 in August. I'm a Virgo. I live in South Florida. One of the questions that I get a lot is, have I always lived in Florida? And the answer is no. I was born in New York and I lived on Long Island. I moved to Florida when I was 9, so I was going into 4th grade, and I've lived here ever since. I lived in Boca Raton, went to elementary school, middle school, and high school there. And then I ended up going to college also in Florida. Another question is, do I have any siblings? Yes, I have an older sister, Sammy, she's 28, and a younger brother, Jack, and he just turned 22, and they're literally my best friends. I'm gonna put a picture of them right here, but yeah, we're so close. They also live in Florida, and yeah. Okay, this question I get literally like every day is, do I have a 9-to-5 job? Yes, I do. I do not do social media full-time. I would love to, but I do have a full-time job. I work in tech sales. I don't really talk a lot about my job. I just like to keep that part separate from my social media side of my life. But yes, I do. I work fully remote, so it is definitely very flexible when it comes to working out in the morning. I don't have to like rush home, shower, get all ready to commute to an office. So that does make it a lot easier, because I know a lot of people are curious how I fit working out into my schedule while also having a full-time job. And I will say working remote definitely has a lot of pros. But I really do like to get my workouts done in the morning. So I'll usually go on my runs or go to the gym or go to solid core at like 6 or 7 a.m. and I'm usually home by like 8 or 8:15 and ready to start work by 8:30. So yes, I do have a job. Okay, another question is, what inspired me to get into running? I love that question. Just a little backstory, I have played sports my whole life. I grew up playing competitive soccer and lacrosse, and I ended up playing college lacrosse at a small D2 school in Florida called Florida Tech, and I played there for 5 years. When I was a senior, that was when COVID hit and we ended up getting an extra year of eligibility. So I took a 5th year and got my MBA, and when I graduated, I still lived in the area and I was volunteer coaching with the team, which I absolutely loved, and it was so great to still be a part of that, because it was definitely like a piece missing inside of me. I was really sad when that last season ended. I kind of just felt like empty, didn't really know what I was gonna do with my life. So anyways, that year after I graduated and was done playing college sports, I was just like really struggling with finding motivation to work out every day. I was like really missing that competitive factor and just like really needed something to work towards, like a goal to work towards. And I saw that there was a half marathon in that area. So this is Melbourne, Florida. So I signed up for that. I have never ran more than like 4 or 5 miles at a time, but I was determined and I was really excited to start training for that. So that's kind of what started my running journey. I ran that first half marathon and I was hooked. Like, it is so addicting. Training for that half and running that half definitely filled a void that I was missing from not playing competitive sports anymore. And I recommend this to anyone who's a retired athlete or a former college athlete who feels the same way. Sign up for a half or a full or a 10K, just something to work towards, and to feel that feeling of accomplishment, because that definitely helped when I was like struggling really bad. And then fast forward, later that year, I moved to Fort Lauderdale, Florida from Melbourne, and a full year later, I decided to run the Fort Lauderdale half. And since then, I kind of lost count. I feel like I've ran like 9 or 10 half marathons at this point, and I just love it so much. Okay, I've gotten a lot of questions about my boyfriend, Bryce. You guys probably see him in a lot of my videos. Someone asked, how long have we been dating? How did we meet? So we actually met the first day of college orientation, like before school even started. We both were freshmen playing lacrosse at the same school, so like we were bound to meet, but we did meet in line. Or we didn't actually meet. We like made eye contact, and I mentioned to my mom that he was on the men's lacrosse team, and she told me to go say hi, but I was too shy. But later that day, we ended up meeting anyways, because him and his teammates were paired to live together, and I was paired to live with my teammates, and they lived directly on top of us. So yeah, we have been dating. So in November, we celebrated our 8-year anniversary. So we've been together for a little bit over 8 years, and it's been like the best 8 years ever. Someone asked what my go-to breakfast is, and I'm really trying to get like more into breakfast. Like, I was on a little bit of a scrambled eggs kick, and then randomly the other day I was in the middle of eating them and I got so disgusted and I could not finish eating them. Like, I threw it away, and I don't think I could ever eat eggs again, at least not for a long time. My go-to is usually like a granola bar or yogurt and granola, but I'm not really a big breakfast person. I never have been. Another question someone asked is, what are some of my non-running related goals? I love that question because I feel like I'm just constantly posting about my running, and like you guys don't really get to know me outside of that. So that's also why I'm starting this YouTube channel. I am definitely a goal setting person. I always need to have something to work towards. That's just like my personality. I will say I have like goals in different sections of my life. So like in my career, I have a goal to get promoted this year, and just like a couple smaller goals within that. I will say a lot of my goals are definitely running related, so this is hard to think of. Some of my running related goals, I definitely want to run another marathon this year. So if you guys don't know or don't follow me, I ran my first marathon in November. So a few months ago, I ran the New York City Marathon, and it was the best day of my life. Like, I keep reliving it in my head, and I want to experience that again. I applied for the Chicago Marathon lottery, but I didn't get in, so I'm trying to get in through a charity, and we'll see how that goes. If not, I might look into some other marathons, but that's one of my big goals. Okay, someone asked, what's the biggest obstacle you've ever had to overcome in your life? Okay, so I'm gonna get a little vulnerable here. I do talk about this. I'm like very open on my TikTok and Instagram, but I feel like something that a lot of people don't know about me is that I struggle with severe anxiety. I have my entire life, and I've gotten better at dealing with it, I will say, but I feel like people are sometimes surprised to hear this because I'm like very outgoing, and my personality online, like, you wouldn't know. But this is definitely something that like I've struggled with my whole life, and it's been a big obstacle, especially like in the season of life that I'm in now, which is doing a lot of races, because I do get race anxiety really bad. I get anxious in like crowded spaces, overwhelming situations. Like, I get nervous before any run that I do, even when I'm just going to run by myself. But I've always been that way, and I've just gotten like better at learning how to deal with it on my own, kind of. But it's definitely something that I struggle with every day, and if you're dealing with that, just know you're not alone. And if you guys ever want to talk about it, like, my DMs are always open. I'll try to be a little bit more open with that on my platforms as well, because I know that it might help someone out there, just like knowing that they're not alone. Another question is, what are some of my non-running hobbies? That's definitely like my main hobby, I will say, but I love reading. I love reading like psychological thrillers. I live less than 2 miles from the beach. I wish that I went to the beach more, but I love walking by the beach, going to the beach. I love tanning. I go to the pool a lot. I love shopping. I'm definitely obsessed with shopping. I just like hanging out with my family, hanging out with Bryce. I'm definitely a homebody. I do have like aspirations to travel more, but when it comes down to it, like, I really love being home, and every time I travel I get really anxious. So I'm trying to get over that, because we do have like a few trips planned this year, which I'm really excited about, but I'm definitely a homebody. Another thing that you guys probably noticed about me is that I am a huge New York sports teams fan. So I'm a big fan of the New York Islanders and the Jets. You probably see me rooting for the Ravens and going to a lot of Ravens games, and That's because I'm an amazing girlfriend. And Bryce is a huge Ravens fan and has been his whole life. And he's kind of converted me to be a Ravens fan too, but that's just like me supporting him. So Dad, if you see this, don't worry. I am a Jets fan. Through and through, and always will be. And then just like a little bit more about my family. You guys probably see a lot of content with my mom because she is literally my best friend and my biggest supporter ever in life. And yeah, and my dad's also amazing and he's so supportive and he's the best. And it's so nice because I live like a 20-minute drive from my family, so I see them all the time. Oh, someone asked if I have any pets. So I don't have any pets like here at my apartment. My mom has 2 Morkies, Cooper and Joey. I'm literally obsessed with them. Love them so much. They just turned 12, so they're getting old. And then my sister Sammy has a golden retriever, Birdie, that she rescued when she was in college, and he is so funny and he's the best and so cute. Just like a few things that I have coming up that I'm so excited about and I'm definitely gonna film. I'm running a half marathon this weekend in Melbourne, Florida. I'm running a half marathon next weekend in Fort Lauderdale, and then I'm running a half marathon in 3 weekends. I'm running the Run Disney Princess half, and I'm so excited about that. So stay tuned because I will be vlogging all of those races and all the behind the scenes and all of that. And yeah, I can't wait. I'll see you guys in the next video.